Let's be real for a second. Have you ever felt like someone just doesn't like you for no reason at all? Maybe you've sensed the side glances, the fake smiles, or even the outright coldness. It's uncomfortable. It's frustrating. And if you're not careful, it can mess with your confidence. But here's the powerful truth most people won't tell you. Being hated isn't always about you. Being hated isn't always about them. Human nature is complex, and the reasons people dislike others aren't always logical. Sometimes it's jealousy. Other times it's insecurity. And in many cases it's projection, where people unload their own fears and failures onto you. But here's where most people get it wrong. They waste energy trying to change minds that are already made up. The secret: stop trying to be liked by everyone. Instead, stop trying to be liked by everyone. Instead, start understanding why people might dislike you, so you can rise above it. In this video, we're going deep into the psychology of hate. Why it happens, what it really means, and how you can use it to your advantage. Because once you understand the truth, you'll stop taking it personally and start using it as fuel. Let's dive in. You've probably heard the saying, people want you to do well, just not better than them. And that's the cold, hard truth. One of the biggest reasons people hate is jealousy disguised as criticism. When you start succeeding, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal growth, some people won't clap for you. Instead, they'll look for ways to tear you down. Why? Because your progress reminds them of their own stagnation. Instead of using your success as motivation, they choose resentment. They tell themselves that you got lucky, that you don't deserve it, or that you must have cheated your way to the top. But here's what they won't admit. Deep down, they wish they had the courage to do what you're doing. Jealousy is a mirror. It reflects what people feel they're lacking in themselves. And when they see you embodying what they want but don't have, it creates an inner conflict. Rather than addressing their insecurities, they externalize them. And that's where hate is born. But here's the key. Don't shrink yourself to make others feel comfortable. Your success is your own. Never apologize for it. Because the right people will be inspired by you, while the wrong ones will expose themselves. Let them. Ever had someone lash out at you for no clear reason? Maybe they belittled you, dismissed your ideas, or made a snide remark that felt completely out of place. Here's the truth. It had nothing to do with you. People project their inner struggles onto others all the time. If they're unhappy, they want others to feel the same. If they feel powerless, they'll try to make someone else feel small. If they have unhealed wounds, they'll bleed on people who never cut them. And guess what? If you happen to be in their line of sight, confident, secure, or just minding your own business, you become the easiest target. Projection is how insecure people cope. Instead of facing their own pain, they push it onto others so they don't have to deal with it. It's why some people resent your confidence when they have none. Why they criticize your ambition when they've given up on their own dreams. Why they call you arrogant when all you're doing is believing in yourself. But here's the powerful shift. When you realize their hate is about them, not you, it loses its power. You stop personalizing their negativity. Instead of asking, why do they hate me? You start thinking, what does my presence trigger in them? And when you see it for what it is, their words no longer shake you. Because the moment you understand projection, you stop carrying emotions that were never yours to begin with. Here's something most people won't tell you. The moment you step outside the norm, you become a target. People don't hate what they understand. They hate what challenges them. And that includes you when you refuse to fit into their expectation. Think about it. Society conditions people to follow a script. Go to school, get a job, school, quit, safe, conform. But the second you decide to do things differently, whether that means chasing an unconventional dream, speaking your mind, or simply refusing to follow the crowd, you make people uncomfortable. And discomfort breeds resentment. It's not that they hate you personally, it's that they don't know how to handle what you represent. You force them to question their own choices. If you're taking risks, it reminds them of the opportunities they were too afraid to take. If you're living authentically, it highlights the ways they've been hiding. If you refuse to settle, it exposes the fact that they have. And instead of doing the work to change, it's easier to attack you. Because it's not your success that bothers them. It's the fact that it proves another way is possible. That's why the most successful, authentic, and bold people in the world are also the most hated. They disrupt comfort zones. So, let them hate. Because every insult, every whisper, every attempt to bring you down, it's just proof that you're doing something right. Confidence is powerful. It draws people in, opens doors, and makes things happen. But it also does something else. It threatens those who lack it. Have you ever noticed that the more sure of yourself you become, the more people accuse you of being cocky or full of yourself? That's not a coincidence. Insecurity and confidence cannot coexist peacefully. When someone with low self-esteem encounters someone who walks with self-assurance, it triggers them. Why? Because it forces them to face their own self-doubt. They see in you what they wish they had in themselves. Instead of being inspired, they feel attacked. And their ego, it can't handle that. So what do? They label your confidence as arrogance. They downplay your achievements. They nitpick your success. They try to convince others that you think you're better than them, even if you've never said a word. But here's the truth. Your confidence isn't the problem. Their insecurity is. People who are secure in themselves don't feel threatened by others who are strong. They celebrate confidence because they have their own. But insecure people, they need to tear others down to feel bigger. That's why the moment you step into your power, you'll notice resistance. And that's okay, because your confidence isn't up for negotiation. Let them misunderstand you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them mislabel you. That's their burden to carry, not yours. There's a powerful truth most people never realize. Sometimes people hate you because you remind them of what they're running from. It's called the mirror effect, and it's one of the deepest reasons behind resentment. See, every person has two versions of themselves. Who they are right now and who they wish they could be. But facing that gap, that's uncomfortable. And if they see you embodying something they lack, whether it's discipline, success, self-love, or courage, it forces them to confront their own shortcomings. And that hurts. Instead of using it as motivation, they take the easy way out. They make you the enemy. You become the scapegoat for their internal struggle. They don't hate that you're winning. They hate what it reminds them about themselves. Your drive highlights their laziness. Your growth exposes their stagnation. Your self-worth makes them question why they settled. But here's the truth. You are not responsible for how others react to their own insecurities. You don't need to dim your light just because it reveals their shadows. You don't have to apologize for making them uncomfortable. You are simply the mirror, and people will either use that mirror to grow, or they'll try to break it. Either way, it's not your burden to carry. Stay focused. Keep growing. Because the people who are meant to rise with you, they won't resent your reflection. They'll use it to sharpen their own. Here's something that might surprise you. Some people hate you simply because you don't need them. That's right. Your independence, your ability to stand on your own 2 feet, and your refusal to rely on their approval, that's a direct threat to their sense of control. See, many people thrive on dependence. They want to feel needed, validated, or superior in some way. But when they come across someone who doesn't seek their permission to exist, it unsettles them. You disrupt their power dynamic. You don't beg for their approval. You don't conform to their expectations. You don't play by their unwritten rules. And that frustrates them, because in their world, people should crave validation. People should crave validation, fear rejection, and conform to the status quo. But you refuse to play that game. And that makes you dangerous. Independent thinkers, self-reliant people, and those who move boldly in their own direction often face resentment, not because they've done anything wrong, but because they've done anything wrong, but because they've proven that true freedom is possible. And not everyone is ready for that truth. So what do? They label you as difficult, rebellious, or too much. But here's the thing. You weren't born to live in a cage just to make others comfortable. Keep doing you. Because real strength isn't in how many people approve of you. It's in how unshakable you remain, with or without their validation. Not all hate comes from jealousy or insecurity. Sometimes it comes from fear, the fear of losing you. This is one of the most overlooked reasons people turn against you. When you start growing, evolving, and stepping into a new version of yourself, it changes the dynamics of your relationships. The people who once felt equal to you now feel like they're being left behind, and that terrifies them. Instead of celebrating your transformation, they resent it, because deep down, they fear that the new you won't have space for them. They see your independence as abandonment, your self-improvement as a threat. And instead of facing their own fear, they turn it into anger. This is why some of the people who are closest to you may suddenly act distant, dismissive, or even hostile. When you start that they truly hate you, it's not that they truly hate you. It's that they don't know how to handle what your growth represents. And here's where many people make a mistake. They shrink themselves to keep others comfortable. They dim their light so no one feels left in the dark. But the truth is, real connections are built on growth, not stagnation. The people meant for you will adjust, evolve, and rise with you. The ones who don't, let them go. Never slow down your journey just to keep someone else from feeling left behind. Because the right people will never be threatened by your expansion. They'll be inspired by it. There's a truth most people won't admit. Some people don't hate you. They hate that they can't control you. They hate that their words no longer shake you, that their approval no longer dictates your choices, and that their opinions no longer shape your reality. And that loss of power, that's what really fuels their resentment. See, certain people thrive on influence. They love feeling like they can shape how others think, behave, or feel. But when they realize that you've outgrown their manipulation, that's when the attacks start. They'll call you selfish for setting boundaries. They'll accuse you of changing when you start prioritizing yourself. They'll try to trip you into thinking you've done something wrong. But here's the truth. The only thing you did was take your power back. And that terrifies them. Because as long as you were dependent on their approval, they felt important. But now they're just another voice lost in the crowd. And they can't stand it. But here's where most people mess up. They try to win back their favor. They explain themselves. They seek closure. They hope for understanding. But why? Why chase clarity from people who were only supportive when they had control over you? Real love, real respect, and real connection don't come with conditions. So let them be uncomfortable. Let them struggle with your growth. Because the moment you stop needing their validation, that's the moment you truly win. At the end of the day, there's one powerful truth you need to understand. People's hatred towards you says more about them than it does about you. It's not your responsibility to fix their insecurities, heal their wounds, or shrink yourself so they feel more comfortable. You are not put on this earth to make everyone like you. And guess what? You never will. No matter how kind, humble, or genuine you are, some people will still find a reason to dislike you, and that's okay. Because the goal isn't to be liked, it's to be real, to be authentic, to live your truth unapologetically. The people who are meant for you will respect that. The ones who aren't, they'll remove themselves. And that's not a loss. That's a blessing. So instead of wasting energy trying to change minds that are already made up, focus on something bigger, your growth, your purpose, your happiness. Because while they're busy hating, you'll be busy thriving. And that is the greatest revenge. So let them talk, let them judge, let them judge, let them misunderstand you. You're not here to be small for anyone. You're here to rise, to evolve, and to become everything you were meant to be. And nothing, not their opinions, their resentment, or their hate, can stop that. So now I'll ask you this. Are you ready to stop worrying about their hate and start owning your power? If so, drop a 100 in the comments and let the world know. You're done playing small.